let's head over to Kimura. Come. Hat. Almost forgot. Hello there, and welcome to Kimura. This video is designed for brand new players to Monster Hunter Rise, or maybe someone who has dabbled in Monster Hunter Rise on the Nintendo Switch or on the PC, and you are now making the swap over to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, or Xbox One, whatever the platform of your choice happens to be. If you are now starting a brand new save in Monster Hunter Rise and you just need a quick refresher to the functionality of the village and things that you should, pay attention to, this video is going to be for you. Now, let's get things started. And I know you guys are looking at my character and you're like, man, what in the hell is going on with your armor set? I just like having this armor set on so that you see what Gunlance players had to suffer in this iteration of Monster Hunter. Yes, this is what peak performance Gunlance play looks like at low rank. Yes, indeed. Anyway, let's get things started. So we are in Kimura right now, and when you first start playing the game, they're going to be going through a tutorial, and then they're going to have you talk with a bunch of characters, and then eventually, by the time your tutorial is done, you're going to have a longsword in your back, and they're going to be sending you off on your first quest. Before you embark on that quest, one of the things that I like to say to anyone that is starting their Monster Hunter journey is you should try every single weapon. So one of the first things that I want you to go ahead and do is I want you to head in this general direction. This is going to be taking us to the Buddy Plaza. Now, in the Buddy Plaza, there are going to be a series of functionality that is not available in other sections of the village. At least the first time that you come here, they'll even play a cutscene and all of that jazz. But one of the most important things that I want you to do is come over here to this section. There's going to be a boat. This boat is particularly important because, as I remember, if you do not come to this boat and actually use this boat, they're not going to unlock the training area for you, which is funny because I had a couple of people who were like deep into like high rank and stuff like that, and they were asking me, Rurikhan, how do I have access to the training area? It's this boat in the Buddy Plaza. That's how you go. You basically hit the boat and you're going to be landing in the training area. Now, this training area has a lot of functionality, among which there's going to be a chest here, and this allows you to go ahead and select a different weapon if you should choose. So my recommendation for anyone who is starting this game for the very first time, they're going to give you one of each weapon. So say you want to try out Greatsword, you will have a Greatsword in your inventory. Want to try out Sword and Shield, you will have a Sword and Shield in your inventory. Want to try out Dual Blades, and so on and so forth. My recommendation is pick up one of these weapons, try it out. Take a couple of swings over here at the Toadversary, which is your training dummy, and see which of the weapons feels best. I cannot emphasize this enough. This is one of the most important things that you will ever do in Monster Hunter. Pay no attention when people tell you this weapon's the best, this weapon's the best. It doesn't matter. Choose whichever weapon feels good for you and ignore everybody else. While we're in the training area, I figured that I would give you guys just a couple of very basic tips when it comes to choosing the functionality of the arena. And why is that? Because if you go into your items equipment, you press the start button here, you can go to the menu, and in the menu, if you scroll to the side, you're going to see that there's training options here. You hit those training options and you can actually decide, okay, I want the head of the dude to come down. And now it's easier to hit the head. This is in case you want to test out, how long does it take me to stun something or something like that, or I want to hit it on the head, see bigger numbers, all of that jazz. And like that, there are plenty of more options, like you can have the Toadversary facing his left for some reason, if that is something that is useful to you. You can also have him perform things like throw projectiles, This is to test your defensive capabilities. You can also have him roar. There's a bunch of functionality here that you will want to experiment with. One of the more important ones is also Wirebugs. So say you want to test out what it looks like when you have an extra Wirebug, which is going to be something that you will be able to do when you're out in the field, and you can see what the recovery times are looking like and all of that. And on top of it, you can even just have infinite Wirebugs so that you can test out your skills to your heart's content. Now let me just reset this because I don't want him to... actually, no, let's make him face front. Let's just reset this so that we don't have to listen to that noise all the time. And very quickly, I want to give you also the basics of wirebugging. Wirebug is a new mechanic that was introduced with Monster Hunter Rise, and basically it allows you to do things like this. Okay, I'm going to be using the nomenclature for the PlayStation controller. You can look up like what each controller looks like. I'll probably try to put those up on screen in case, you know, just 3 controllers, and basically the buttons are going to be the same, which means that on PlayStation controls it's going to be triangle, on Switch controls it's going to be X, and on Xbox controls I believe it's going to be Y. I don't really use Xbox controllers, so forgive me for that, but I will be using PlayStation nomenclature. But anyway, so if you want to do what I did right there, you're going to hold down on the left trigger and then press triangle or Y, depending on which platform you are playing. And it is going to throw your character into the air, right? This is one of the very basic movements that you'll want to do. If you press it twice, it is going to propel you forwards while you're in the air. So if you hold down left trigger and then press triangle, and triangle again, it will propel you forwards while you're in the air. This is one of the fastest ways to move throughout the battlefield in the event that you are not using a Palamute. I personally don't use a Palamute. I prefer using 2 Palicos. So it's useful for you to familiarize yourself with how to kind of like move fast throughout the map, right? Whenever you're in the air, if you press left trigger and triangle, your character is going to propel himself forward. If you press left trigger and circle, or in the case of the Xbox controller is B, your character is going to wirebug himself down. So you press triangle, then press circle, you're going to wirebug yourself down. Usually, I don't really wirebug myself down all that often. I don't really see too much usefulness for it. But another important thing is you can keep propelling yourself forward more efficiently by adding a couple of additional inputs into your wirebug usage. So if you press left trigger triangle and then press circle or B, your character hangs in the air like this. Why is this important? Because when your character does this, you can actually then press the X button on your PlayStation or cross, whatever it is that you call it, which I believe is going to be the A button on Xbox, and your character will do something like this. He will launch himself in a desired direction. This is something you'll want to get in the habit of because this is going to propel you forward. So see how previously we did left trigger, triangle, triangle, and we do this. You can get even more distance if you do left and triangle, and then dangle, and then yeet yourself using cross or A, and then after that, you can propel yourself once again through the air, so long as you have enough wirebugs to perform this action. So it will look something like this. And again, the input is going to be left trigger triangle, and then circle or B, and then cross or A, depending on the controller that you are playing, and then once again, left trigger triangle, and it's going to do this. And you can see that you can cover a lot of distance like this. Just pay attention that like holding on like this and then pressing the dodge button at the very end is going to propel you that much more forward. Now, I also have a vid extender too, so your results are not going to be exactly like mine because a vid extender does affect the distance with which you can wirebug. But you know, just kind of to get you in the very basics of wirebugging, this is something that is very useful. You can also do this jumping off of a ledge. So if you jump off of a ledge and hold circle or B in your Xbox controller, your character dangles, which means you can also do the little dodge thing immediately after, propelling you forwards, and then, you know, just constantly yeet yourself all over the place. I would recommend you to practice this if this is your first time playing Rise, because this is very useful for you to navigate the map while you are either looking for things or just like regular hunting or whatever reason happens to be, because this is one of the fastest moving Monster Hunter games in the business. I also have a more complete explanation of Wirebugs in the channel. I'll try to put it here. This was the very first guide that I did for Monster Hunter Rise, so it's a little bit rough, but, you know, it'll give you pretty much everything that you can do with the Wirebug, versus here I was just giving you the very basics. Now, another thing that Monster Hunter Rise introduces is the concept of switch skills, which if you go over here to the item box, this will be unlocked to you just playing through the game as you are playing through and, you know, advancing through the different ranks. You're going to be given the option to change switch skills. Right now, I only have 2 Ground Splitter and Hail Cutter, but basically this allows you to change your move set. So, to give you an idea, actually I shouldn't have left the training area. Let's just go ahead into the training area. By the way, you can access that menu by holding down on the touchpad or pressing the, holding down on the back button on your Xbox, and you can just like go to the different areas of the village, right? So in the training area, if you notice right now we have Ground Splitter. This is Ground Splitter, which is left trigger and triangle, right? If we go over here into the switch skills and we swap that out for Hail Cutter, now left trigger and triangle is going to do something completely different. So keep that in mind. You actually get to customize the moveset of your weapon. Now, with Monster Hunter Rise, there are 3 switch skills that will be available to every single weapon. With the introduction of Sunbreak, which is going to be in spring for the platforms relevant to this video, kind of PlayStation and Xbox, it will add a couple of more, and I will talk about those when the time comes. But for now, let's just stick to 3. You guys are going to want to know, okay, so how do I unlock these? Because right now I only have 1. Well, one of them unlocks by you just, you know, playing the game, doing quests and advancing through the different ranks. And every time one of them unlocks, you're going to see a notification here at the Gathering Hub. Go to the Gathering Hub. There's a dude over here called Tsutsuchi. Yeah, Utsuchi, and he is the one who will teach you stuff. So whenever he has a dialogue box, make sure to come check him out at the Gathering Hub. We'll talk more about dialogue boxes in a minute here. I just wanted to let you guys know that that is how that works. Now, how do you get access to them? So the very first one, like I said, you just rank up, you come over here, he teaches you it. That's how I got the Ground Splitter. Now, the other skill that you can get, you're going to want to come to Haman the Blacksmith or any of the blacksmiths. There's another blacksmith in the village, and you will want to forge or upgrade 8 weapons. So that means that, like, if I craft the Defender weapon and then I upgrade it, that counts as 2. If I craft the Kimura Tree weapon and that upgraded, that's 2 more. So it's like you need to do 8 of these. So the moment that you upgrade or craft 8 weapons from the same tree, so if you want to get a switch skill for the gun lance, you will craft or upgrade 8 gun lances. You should be seeing a text pop up in the Gathering Hub, which is actually the one that I have right now, and he is going to give me a switch skill. So you come over here to Utsuchi, he's going to go like, oh, you've been experimenting with a lot of different weapons. What he means to say, hey, you crafted 8 of this type of weapon, huh? That's pretty cool. Here's a new switch skill. And boom, you now have Blast Dash. And each of the weapons is going to have an additional skill. So at this point, if you come into switch skills, you'll notice that now we have 2. We can swap between Charge Shelling and Blast Dash. The third skill is going to be only in high rank. So first you have to get to high rank, which is going to be, I believe, 4 stars. So right now we're still in low rank in the hub here. I haven't played that much since I got my code because I've spent over, I don't know, 1,500 hours in this game already, leveling up twice throughout Nintendo Switch and on PC. Let's just say I'm a little bit burned out on Monster Hunter Rise leveling, okay? But anyway, that is kind of how you get your switch skills. Eventually, you're just going to get quests that tell you specifically, hey, you complete this quest, we'll give you a switch skill. But that's only, the third switch skill is going to come in high rank. And depending on your weapon, that changes which stars it's going to be. Sometimes it's going to be Hunter rank 5. Some people get a Hunter rank 4. Some people get a Hunter rank 6. But basically, they're spread out all over the place depending on which weapon you get. But that is how you get switch skills. Now, In case you're trying to figure out, how do I do multiplayer? Come over here and talk to Senri the Mailman. He handles all the multiplayer stuff. He also handles all of the event quests. So one of the first things that you'll want to go and do is go to Senri the Mailman, go to add-on content, and make sure to install all of the event quests here. These are all event quests because with Rise, you're going to get a bunch of patches of event quests already. So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff here. I believe that also some kind of goal was achieved. So by the time the game releases, which I'm recording this video a little bit in advance, there should also be like an item pack in here that you can get. But just get in here and collect everything that you can, because this is basically free content that you can go ahead and add into the game as well. But if you want to play online with friends, you can also come over here, play online, create a lobby, then you get a lobby ID. I could spend like another 10 minutes talking about multiplayer, but it's kind of self-explanatory how it works. Just come to Senri the Mailman and kind of like figure it out, all right? That is multiplayer. Now, one of the really important things that I feel like a lot of people are going to overlook is villager requests. Now, if you notice, a lot of villagers here have stuff above their heads. I purposefully left it like this so that I could show it on video for the villager requests portion. So one of the things that you want to do whenever you come back to the village from a hunt, you want to go ahead and open up your map, okay? Which, like I said, you hold on the back button or you hold on the touchpad, brings up your village map. And in the village map, you'll see these little bubbles that basically indicate, hey, somebody wants to go ahead and talk to you. And the different colors have different meanings. I don't know, but basically always just talk to everyone and clear everything out. So for instance, in here, we have Fugen, and he's got some for us. It's going to be some kind of a reward that is going to allow us to go ahead and I'm just skipping through the text right here. So as you can see, he's going to unlock a couple of armors for us. So we can now craft this armor from Utsuchi. He's going to give us some more rewards because I just recently beat like Magnamalo or whatever, which is the, whatchamacallit? He's the flagship of the game. So, you know, he's going to give you a bunch of more stuff. Thank you. He's also going to unlock it as layered. Jesus Christ, dude. Okay, so now he also gave you a request, and he also gave you a Kimura ticket, which allows you to like craft additional things. So different villagers will have requests for you. Like if you see over here, you'll see that this is Yomogi is just telling you, oh, I crafted a bunch of, you know, you've advanced so much, now we have new recipes. But in here, there should also be a couple of rewards as well as a couple of requests. So she is also going to tell you, oh, I need you to go do something for me. And as you can see, just speaking with her unlocked a new quest, and that's one of the requests that you're going to want to go and do, because whenever you do these requests, it unlocks more things. So sometimes it'll unlock additional ingredients for your food, it will unlock new armors, it will unlock all kinds of stuff. So basically, for full functionality of the game, you want to make sure that you keep talking to them until you completely exhaust all of the requests. As you can see, another quest. This is another ingredient for food. And Jesus Christ! Yeah, I left this for a while to show you guys just how many requests can actually be in your character. Anyway, in case you lose track of it, because like me, you have terrible memory, which I do. I have completely atrocious memory. You might lose track. Oh my God, I accepted like 1 billion requests. I don't remember anything of what I need to do. It's very easy. For starters, whenever the request is a quest, it'll just show up here and it'll have like a thing, like a dialogue option next to it. So you know that this is a request from a villager. So that's when the request is an actual separate quest. Some of the requests are not. Some of the requests are things like, hey, I need 5 pieces of this, or I need you to kill 3 of these monsters. These are requests that can be done whenever you want. And those requests are actually in your menu. You can go open up the menu and you go to side quests, and then in side quests you have requests. And in here, and it will tell you. So for instance, deliver 1 Renoplos egg. You can do this in any quest that you want. Like you can go and you can go hunt a Kuliaku, and so long as during that quest you deliver a Renoplos egg, boom, this request is considered complete. Frost Island subcamp security. Slay 8 Zamite in the Frost Islands. This is super basic. Go in there, kill 8 Zamites, which are these small little shark-looking dudes. kill them, and that completes this request. In here, slay 8 Roggy on the flooded forest, overflowing of furry friends, hire 15 buddies. This is about just hiring buddies, and you get that done. Raise a Palamute to level 5. I haven't done that because I don't really play with Palamutes, but basically you get the idea. You can see all of these requests. You'll want to complete these, trust me, because there's always advantages to completing them. Now, if you play with friends a lot, you might not need to complete the food ones because only one person needs to have completed them, and then they share the food with everybody else. But if you're playing by yourself, make sure to complete everything because it's just useful. So every time that you come back from a hunt, you'll want to check in and make sure to clear all of the dialogues from your from your village, because that will unlock all of the requests and you can start working on them. Now, another very important thing is optional quests. Now, you might be thinking, optional quests, I don't need that, Rurikhan. I just want to do the main quests. I just want to, like, advance, kill the big monsters. That's what I'm about. It's like, yeah, but optional subquests give you very, very useful rewards. So, for instance, look at the rewards here on the right side. Gather account items. You should know what account items are by now if you are someone who's played Monster Hunter. If you're not, it's just a type of item that you don't actually get a physical item out of them. It's just an item that you collect and it instantly gives you points. It just adds these different points. They're called Kimura points. But basically, you gather 7 of these and you get an Armor Sphere Plus. Now, if you don't understand why that is important, Armor Sphere Plus is basically how you upgrade your armor. So you'll want to stack up on these as much as possible. So whenever you return from a quest, make sure to come in here and accept 5 optional subquests. You might think that this is pretty basic, but to give you an idea, even me, I completely forgot about optional subquests when I restarted playing on PlayStation 5, and I haven't done them at all. One of the ones that I would recommend is like Gather Honey, because you always want to gather honey anyway. Gathering ore is also very good. Perma buffers is super easy to do. Just catch like 7 birds and you're done. Large monster hunting is also a pretty easy one. And there's more, and some of these will also sometimes give you different materials. So if you're looking for the specific materials, or if you're looking for quests that give you more Kimura points, just look over the rewards here on the right side and just choose the ones you want to have. But always, 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 I cannot emphasize this enough, always have 5 of these active, because again, you're just getting easy rewards pretty much for free for just playing the game. You don't even have to focus on them, you will just complete them over time. Okay, these are super easy, just check them out. So basically you come back from a hunt, check on the villager request, then check on your optional quests, and then get it going. Now, another thing that you're going to want to check up on as you advance throughout the game, you're going to be unlocking the Meowcenaries, which is this thing over here, right? You just got to talk to Kogarashi. Sometimes he gives you upgrades and stuff, and that is good for the Meowcenaries. And you also want to make sure that you talk with Rondine as much as you can. She's probably going to give us a quest to... No, she's just confirming that we already have 2 of the submarines. It's whatever. But eventually she will have a quest for you for a 3rd submarine, because you will be able to have 3 submarines. And why is this important? If you now go to your room, because you can manage all this stuff from your room so that you don't always have to go to the Buddy Plaza. You just have to go to the Buddy Plaza to unlock this stuff for the very first time. But basically, from here, from your housekeeper, you have these 2 options that are very important, Meowcenaries and the Argosy. You can see that my Meowcenaries are currently on a mission. Basically, you can keep sending these out to get materials for you. These are just bonus materials, and every time that you complete a hunt, they'll advance one. So right now, they're collecting herbs. Herbs are used to make potions, so this is something that is useful. They're also going to be collecting that special fish. Sometimes you can get like some special whetstone, stuff like that, to sharpen your weapon real good. But basically, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, if you're a completely new player, just send out Meowcenaries, okay? Do keep in mind, you need to hire buddies to send out, which I will show you how to hire buddies in a second here as well. But I just wanted to let you know, Meowcenaries, check up on them every time you come back from a hunt, because, it's important. Then, on the Argosy, as you can see, I currently have 2 of my submarines out gathering honey. Honey is going to be one of the more important materials that you want to get, because you combine a potion with honey and it becomes a mega potion. That's like one of the most basic things about Monster Hunter, so you'll want to stack up on honey fast, because that is how you're going to be getting your healing items, okay? Because there are limited healing items in this game, so you'll want to make sure that you get a bunch of honey. But basically, every every time you come back from a mission, you'll want to check up on this, because there's also this thing called buddy bargaining that allows you to basically make your Palicos retrieve more items. You see how now it's yellow that I put casual bargain in, and this bargain gets upgraded as your Palicos gain more levels. This is going to make it so that they bring back more and more items, and early on in the game, this is going to be very important for you to make sure that you get as much resources as possible. If you're a Monster Hunter veteran, this is basically your farm. This is how you come in here and how you produce all of the different items and all of that stuff. I have them going for honey, but you can have them going for something else. So just choose whatever item that you want and then make sure that you have them out, and then also take out all the materials whenever you feel like it. You can take the materials out whenever you want. They'll just keep on getting more and more and more and bringing it back every time that you go on a hunt, okay? So check up on them, make sure that the buff is going, the bargain buffs and whatnot. And yeah. These are important. Argosy and Meowcenaries, kind of like a checklist thing. Now, for those of you that don't know how to actually hire buddies, you need to go to the Buddy Plaza and talk to our boy Yori here. Yori is how you go ahead and hire buddies. This costs Zenny, which is like the game's currency. You just buy whatever you want. Now, right now I'm scouting for, what is this called? The Gathering type Palico, because they steal stuff off of monsters, and it's like one of the fastest ways of getting materials. You don't have to do this. I'm just doing this because I'm trying to progress fast. But to be honest, on your first time playing the game, you're probably better taking it slow. So if you want to go ahead and hire just like Palicos for fun, it's whatever. The Gathering Palico is one of the best ones, though. Super strong, on top of the fact that it steals items for you. Just a very quick tip when it comes to Palicos. Things to look out for. One of the most important things is you look at their passive skills, like these are their equipped moves and then these are their passive skills. And you want to get a Palico, in my personal opinion, that has status attack up and knockout king. As you can see, like this right here would be a good Palico. Then you have to check the moves that they have to see if they're good, which in this case they're not, because Healing Bubble sucks, Camouflage sucks, Shock Tripper is kind of okay. But, you know, you have to analyze both things. Do you want you want some good passives, and you want some good abilities as well. You can see one right here, status attack up, but no knockout king. The reason that status attack up and knockout king are important is because you'll want to equip them with stuff that inflicts status, like for instance sleep. And then once you inflict sleep on a monster, another good thing to have with the knockout king is that not only they're trying to inflict sleep, they're also hitting with blunt weapons that increase the chance of them knocking out the monster. So this kind of like makes them good for taking the monster out of action and giving you openings as you are playing the game. So yeah, it's very good. Personally, those are the two skills that I value the most when it comes to Palicos: status stack up and knockout king. You can kind of do the same thing for Palamutes. The thing about Palamutes is that they are completely customizable. So the only thing that you need to pay attention to is whether or not their skills are good. But don't ask me about Palamute skills because I don't really use them, even though most speedrunners tend to use double Palamute as far as I can remember. So, you know, if your aspirations are to become a speedrunner, then you're probably not watching this video anyway. But anyway, you know, you can also scout your Palamutes like this. Now, an important thing is, like I said, I'm currently scouting for Gathering Palicos, which means he only shows up with Gathering Palicos. But what if you wanted to change that? Well, you can go to Scout a Buddy, and you can change the criteria down to the way that the Palico looks if you want to. So, like, for instance, you can set like the way the preset for your Palico and whatnot, and change the looks, and he will only look for Palicos that look exactly like you say. Personally, I usually leave these as whatever because I think it's more fun to just have them randomized. But the important thing is the support type. This is what you want to pick. If you want to look for healer Palicos, then you select healer here. Assist Palicos, which are kind of like trappers. Fight Palicos give you a buff that increases your affinity, which is your critical chance, by like 30%. Bombardier Palicos are really good at staggering enemies. So, you know, it's basically like you choose whatever you want him to scout for, and he will scout exclusively for that type of Palico. This will become important as you play through the game and learn the things that are important to you. Like I said, if you're just starting out, Gathering Palico is pretty good. I personally prefer Bombardier. Bombardier is really fun because they stagger enemies and all that good stuff. So, you know, try it out, see what you like the most. And remember, you need to hire them through here in order to have them to send out both with the submarines and with the Meowcenaries. So if you don't have enough buddies to send out, you come to Buddy Handler Yori and you hire them. He also provides other services like renaming them and a bunch of other stuff. And it's also important to mention that in Sunbreak, when that releases, you can fully customize the Palicos, so you no longer need to rely on RNG as much as you do right now. Because right now, you can't train Palicos, you can't change the skills that they come with. So for Rise, you just need to basically rely on RNG to get a good Palico. That's the way it works. But anyway, that is how you get your buddies. Now, another important thing to get in the habit of doing whenever you're about to leave on a hunt is eating. Eating is extremely important because it gives you buffs, it increases your health. You always want to heal. It's like a little ritual that you're doing. Every time before you go out and you do a hunt, you come over here and you eat. And then you choose the buffs that you want. You can see the buffs that it says right there and the chance for activating the buffs. So just choose whatever 3 buffs that you want and, you know, go for it. I'm not really going to go too in-depth with this because you're going to learn more as you play through the game. And, like, food, I probably have, like, a food guide somewhere in my channel. I'll try to link to that in case you guys are curious about that. But, yeah. So, you order this. And then you get a little cutscene, which unfortunately is still in 30 FPS. I really wish they would change these for 60 FPS. It's a cute little cutscene, and you eat it, and then you get buffs for your hunt. I'm going to be skipping this. You guys can enjoy this when you actually play the game, so boom, done. That is how you get your food buff. Always make sure to eat your food before you go into a hunt. And another thing is, remember how I told you that you should do all of the requests? The more requests you do for Yamogi, the more buffs will be available to you in the food thing. So keep that in mind. And finally, just a couple of more tidbits because I don't want to overwhelm you too much. This is like one of the first guide videos that I'm going to be doing. But if you come to the Buddy Plaza, there is a secret spot up here in this tree. You climb up the tree, and at the top of the tree, there's a Cohoot nest. Basically, these Cahoots will gather materials for you and they'll just drop it here. So every time in between hunts, you can also come in here for a couple of additional materials. You don't have to come every single time. You can, but basically they rack up over time. It's not like you get everything. Like say you don't come in here for 10 hunts, you're going to get 10 times the materials. It doesn't work like that. But like if it should be like every 3 hunts or so, you might want to check it out if you're trying to get maximum gains. And as you can see, we'll go through here and it'll give us a bunch of stuff. These steel eggs, for instance, are just for sale. You just sell these, and they give you a bunch of zenny, which is useful. Rations are also useful to, you know, eat in missions and stuff like that. So it's just a nifty little thing that you can go to get free resources. Sometimes you'll also get Logni apples in there, which are used with the Meowcenaries and with Argosy. So you'll want to keep that in mind. And then finally, there is a secret shrine in here. There's a scroll in there. I don't think I can open it yet, or can I? Actually, I can. So you can open this once you defeat Magnamalo. That is the trigger. And I'm going to be skipping this cutscene. You can enjoy it for yourself later. But basically, getting this allows you to craft one of the most powerful buddy weapons in the game. So yeah, after you defeat Magnamalo for the very first time, you'll want to make sure to come back here and pick that up. Because it's going to give you access to a weapon that gives your Palicos and Palamutes a lot of sleep, which is very good because they hit monsters with sleep. Monsters fall asleep, gives you openings for, you know, bombing them, and you know, what do they call it? Sleep bombing, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. But anyways, that is going to be it for this video. I tried going as fast as I could. The video is still like 30-something minutes long. There's so much more to talk about. If there's anything in particular that you'd like to know about this game, please let me know. Most likely there'll already be a video in the channel. Like there's a search function in the channel itself. You can just look up anything Monster Hunter Rise and put my name in front of it. So like Rise Weapon Guide Rurikhan, and you'll probably find a video on it. But anyway, hopefully this was useful for those of you getting started. If it was, then consider leaving a like because it really, really helps me out. Thank you all very much for the outstanding support over the years, And if you're a newcomer, then I really hope that you enjoy Monster Hunter Rise, because I definitely did. I think it's a fantastic game. And yeah, happy hunting. Stay strong, stay safe, peace out.